Want to hear some hot take opinions that no one else in the watch world makes? Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. And today is all about
hot takes!
Yes, watch opinions that I have you may not agree with. But listen, life is a game of opinions. It doesn't change who I am. I mean, I just think that a leather strap on a dive watch is an abomination. That's just one of many hot takes coming up. But listen, this is going to be threefold. I'm going to give you some of the best comments I received in the community section of the channel when I asked them to give me their hot takes. And crikey, you think mine are bad. But even worse than that, you're going to get my wife's hot takes. Oh my God. So sit back, semi-relax, take on board what I've got to say, and then nail me in the comment section below.
Let's have a bit of fun.
Are you hot take ready? Let's go. So I'm going to go straight in the deep end with this first one.
Hardlex.
It's the glass that protects the dials on Seiko watches that they manufacture, by the way, and it does a job of not shattering like sapphire does.
If you were to have a punch up with a shark
or knock it on some coral. Seiko have been using their own Hardlex compound for many years. It's used in their professional tool watches. And if I've said this once, I've said this 1,000 times. If you take a look at all of the Seikos I've ever owned, there is not one scratch. And I give my watches a good beating. Hardlex is not just mineral glass. It's a form of mineral, but it's Seiko's special recipe. And if it's good enough for professional diving watches,
good enough for me, baby.
Recently, poor Adrian Barker had a little accident with his Explorer 2 when he was trying to change a strap outdoors over top of a rock. Not ideal to start with, but he dropped his watch and that sapphire shattered. If he had a watch with Hardlex crystal, he'd have picked it up, brushed it off, and seen that it wouldn't have been smashed. Just because it hasn't got a sapphire glass does not mean it's not blooming good. Power Reserve. It seems that watch brands around the world view Power Reserve as refinement. And the longer the Power Reserve on a watch, the more expensive they are. But listen, the more expensive the watch, the more it's marketed to a watch enthusiast that has more than 5 to 10 watches. And it doesn't matter how many blooming hours you have as a Power Reserve, that watch will run down. And listen, for those of you that are annoyed with low power reserves, if it's an automatic, well, it's constantly charging, so it's 40 hours worth of power reserve the minute you take your watch off and put it in the watch box. But what is the trouble these days of taking a watch out of your box, giving it a wind, setting the date, push the crown back in, and then stick it on your wrist? It's part of the enjoyment of owning a watch, right? I did a community poll not long ago, and the majority of people put a higher seconds-hand sweep deemed more important than a high power reserve. Clasp extensions. If the clasp on the stainless steel bracelet you own doesn't have an on-the-fly adjustment, you think it's rubbish. Now listen, I own quite a few watches with bracelets that you can extend or de-stend depending on your comfortability throughout your working day. I don't think I've ever used one. And the only time I have ever used the micro adjustments is showing you guys on film. Bracelets on a wrist should not be tight. The watch should not restrict your hand movement or make your hand go blue. It should have a lovely bit of give. And if you are hot, in the sweaty hot temperatures of wherever you are, there's enough gap in your bracelet to accommodate. And I don't need to micro extend any other day. Move on. 50 meters of water resistance. Now recently I did a phenomenal show on the latest edition of the Omega Speedmaster. Non-screwed down crown, non-screwed down pushers, acrylic glass, and a watch that costs around £5,000. That is a sports watch, by the way, is only giving us 50 meters of water resistance. Oh, wait. Crikey, yeah. So I got a lot of the Omega fan club of me, because it wasn't just any old 50 meters, it's ISO 50 meters. When we see 50 meters, we think 50 meters. A bit rubbish. I know it and you know it deep down. Your Speedmaster should be 100 meters. I think the minimum water resistance for any watch, Any watch should have a water resistance of 100 meters.
Just keep the damn thing watertight.
And obviously we're specifically talking to Hamilton and their khaki field mechanical, aren't we?
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
My last hot take is, I don't care what you think. The mantra everyone should have when they're choosing a watch to buy. Now recently, with the help of Shop, I purchased my first ever Breitling. It was a Super Ocean Heritage 57, a reissue from their very first dive watch that came out in 57, and I had to forego some of my basic ticking boxes check sheet. Friction bezel, 100 meters water resistance, non-screw down crown. Yes, I know, it's hard to say, but it's a dive style watch. But if I take that baggage, roll it all up and chuck it away, what am I left with? An amazing looking dial, supremely thin, awesome little lugs, and a concave bezel I don't own on any other watch. Plus I have the heritage, the history, the story from our big brand that usually makes big watches. This one fits me awesome. And when you put all the positives together, you come up with a reason for buying you just can't explain. The head says no, the heart says yeah. And we're all doing it, aren't we? I mean, take poor old Jody. He's bought himself one of the worst watches I reviewed last year, the PRX Digital. Head says no, heart said yeah. Someone send that to Jody. Cause I'm with you, brother. I mean, I spent significantly more money, but I'm with you all the way. Apart from that PRX, it's rubbish. Whoa, so there you go, my hot takes, hotter than a devil on his holiday in a hot place. As I said on the community post of the YouTube channel, gave me your hot takes, and this is a little flavour of the best ones. I'm not going to mention names, because that would be, you know, I don't want to get you into trouble, you know what I mean? Hot take! Having a bunch of watches makes you dissatisfied with your collection. Stay under 3 to really enjoy your watches. Sounds really boring. This guy says, I actually like Panerai a lot. Kinda obsessed. Keep it down. Oh, I got a Seiko one. Love Seiko, but they can get effed with that Hardlex BS. Oh, this is a juicy one. I can't stand the following terms. Gadda watch, tool watch, daily driver, a strap monster, they drive me mad. I think I hate daily driver the most. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot, my friend, and I agree. And I promise to never use these words ever again. And if I do, feel free to unsubscribe and give me a slap on the way. Oh, I don't understand the hate towards moon swatch. Oh, flipping it. Any field watch with less than 100 meters water resistance should not be considered a field watch. Yes. Tudor no longer represents good value, propped up by aggressive defenders acting like they still cost only 3K. They are fine watches, but $4 for a Black Bay is nuts. Tell me a Swiss watch that isn't overpriced right now. PRX Digital. Shut up. German watchmaking really is the principle. I personally don't care about Loom. She's a madman. Blue AR coating makes blue dial watches great, but ruins any other. That I do agree with. Particularly if you've got a vintage style watch with a blue hue over the crystal. Nah. Thank you to everyone that has commented so far. You know, this is a therapy session. So keep going on that community post comments and give me your hot takes down below as well. So here we are, my wife's hot takes. Bear in mind, she doesn't like watches, she doesn't wear one, and she owns one. I bought her a pink jellyfish Casio F91W for Christmas, which she does wear sometimes, when I've been good. But here we go. A strap makes or breaks a watch for me, and to be fair, a lot of non-watch enthusiasts have told me the same. Little do they know, there are companies that make watch straps and we can change them over. I hate any watches that have diamonds on it, and I hate gold and silver watches. What are you, a granddad? Some of them may be, to be fair, wife. Watches should be clear and able to be seen, shouldn't they? And if your Casio tells time better than your Rolex, why did you spend all that money? This could be a long night. So there you go, what a show. Hot takes galore. Hopefully your bold opinions were unscathed with mine. But listen, if we all like the same, we'd all buy the same. Look at that baby, would ya? But listen, it's really good to once in a while de-stress, take the weight off your shoulders, and really let rip once in a while. Thank you to everyone that has watched till the end. If you want a bit more than Mad Watch Collector, why don't you click there? But if I've got you for a few more minutes, just this one will make me happy. If you watch this one, I will be happy. Yeah? Go on, click it. Because I haven't got too long to wait, you know? Go on, click it. I have got things to do, people to see, places to go. Go on, click it. Click it!